This week's guests are based in Erie, Pennsylvania, coming to us all the way from the United States. Been together since 2009, I believe, with 159,000 Facebook followers. They've just hit 100,000 Instagram followers and 1.2 million YouTube subscribers, which is, I mean, in 2021, that's a crazy number. We're joined by First to 11. How are you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. So some voices to names. We have Audra. Hello.
Hello.
We have Matt.
Hello.
Hello. And we have, who I'm led to believe is the band's jukebox. We'll find that out later on. But we have Sam.
Hey, what's up, guys?
No pressure early on. I think I think I might have thrown you under the bus earlier there, and I apologize. So I think the first question is who are First to 11? We've just touched on the fact you guys have been together since 2009. That's 12 years. That's a long time for you, because you guys are all still super young as well. I feel incredibly old thinking back to 2009, and you guys are younger than me. So who are First to 11? What's been happening in the last 12 years?
So it all started with our bass player, Ryan, who could not be here today. He's getting his kids off the bus.
First day of school. You know?
Gonna be there to get his kids off the bus. 2009, he didn't have kids.
True.
He was teaching, he was teaching guitar lessons, and me and a bunch of the original band members were taking lessons from him. And he had just been like, okay, I've always wanted to try to put bands together. Let me put these group of kids together, because we were all friends. All of our parents knew each other. We all went to the same school. So he put us together, and we were known as M4 at the time. And that's just kind of how we stuck. We were just like, it was basically like an after school activity. Every Thursday we practiced and we played cover songs, and we were just little kids. I was 9 years old at the time playing guitar, and it was just that for the longest time. But he kind of transitioned M4, the band that he put together in his mom's basement, into the rock school concept, which is where he'd be like, kids can sign up and they tell me their instrument and I'll try to get them in a band. So Sam was also a student of Ryan's and had been in a bunch of rock school bands, and Audra applied for the rock school, and it eventually, just to make a long story, 12 years worth short, the rock school kind of just, was funneling us down, as in like, kids were kind of going off to college. We were getting older. People would move away. People just stopped playing.
And then we just ended up here.
And the three of us just kind of ended up to be the ones to stick it out. And Ryan was like, start posting covers on YouTube. So we were posting covers on YouTube. It whittled us down to us four, and now it's what we do. That's how First 11 kind of came to be. So
amazing.
It's just we kind of weathered the storm. Yeah. All the other guys eroded away, kind of went and did their own lives, and now they're graduating college.
Yeah,
now, which is crazy.
It's been a while now to think about, but
it's just kind of been left to us four. Yeah, and we do a cover every week and we do our thing.
So I know Ryan isn't here, but just going off that little story, I'm getting Jack Black School of Rock vibes, like from the off, like just from the off. It's gotta be. Yeah,
just picture that as if he was just right here.
Yeah. So going from you said M4 was the original band name. Where did the band name First to 11 come from?
I thought you were gonna say where M4 came from, and I was like, we don't gotta talk about that.
So First to 11 came from this game that we all play together, which is also kind of a long story. It's called Volleybonk. It's like a mixture of all kinds of games, but long story short, the first team to get 11 points wins, and that's where we got First to 11 from.
Yeah, that's cool. That's why I like that. I was going to say we'll leave the M4. We can
that
go
could be
there.
A mystery.
We will. We'll leave that. So you touched on it, Ryan. He said we've got this band, whittled you guys down. When did you start uploading on YouTube? What's the story there? What was the first cover?
So in 2016, well, what I should say is it was way back in 2013. Before Audra and Sam were even, you know what I mean? We didn't even know who Audra was in 2013. We had uploaded E.T. to YouTube with our old singer, and it was just us three sitting in a row, and Ryan just recorded it on like his phone and he put it up on YouTube, and it got like 50,000 views or something, which for a small bunch of kids, 2013 kids from in a small town, we were like, let's go. And our parents are like, yeah, nah, you can't post our kids on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, We honestly, I wasn't even there for that video so many years ago, but it is funny to think about, like, I mean, if you guys had, we joke and said if they'd started like really like taking that direction
We
back
just wouldn't
then,
even be here.
yeah,
Like-
I mean, because now it's funny, like we get to collaborate.
Yeah.
I don't mean to derail us, by the way, but now we get to collaborate with people who did start like this. We
That
were willing
back
to work with some
then.
YouTubers who started right around that time, and it's like, you know, some of them have like over 10 million subscribers, and it's crazy to think like, wow, if we had not listened to those parents or whatever, you know. But anyway,
But we were like 13, 14 at the time. They weren't really comfortable. That was still when the internet was scary.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
you know, you can't reveal your identity on the internet. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
That was early
All that.
YouTube.
So
yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan had always had the idea of posting covers on YouTube, though. He's been saying it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And we all hit like 15, 16 high school age. And we were like, we're going to do it. So Audrey was in the band. We felt even better about it. And Ryan was like, okay, there's the new Suicide Squad movie coming out.
yeah, the very
first
first
one, the
one.
bad one.
Yeah. The bad one.
That's when 21 Pilots had just released like Blurry Face or whatever and was like
Yeah.
blowing up.
Yeah.
Like super mega popularity, and they had put out Heathens for the soundtrack. So Ryan's like, well, let's see.
Let's do that.
Let's do
cover.
Heathens, a cover of it. I think it'd be really cool as a full band arrangement, and let's see how it does. It did well,
And then it did really well.
and we have not stopped posting covers since.
But we definitely weren't on like as a regimented schedule as we are now. Like we used to be posting a video like every month
To
ish.
2 months.
Like we didn't have a certain day. We would just try and get one out once a month. And then once it kind of like came down to like just like the three of us and Ryan after the like rest of the band left to go off to college and stuff, that's when we started doing our one cover a week schedule. And that's when we really started to like pick up traction because we're more regular with our posts and people knew when to come back to our channel and to watch our videos. And that's kind of what like really I think like kicked off the channel. It had been doing well with doing those like one cover a month, and that was how we got to like our 100,000 subscribers. But then after that, when we really started getting our schedule down, it just started to really take off.
Yeah, and that's a nice little segue. I mean, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was using social media. I think it's a thing that a lot more people are maybe alert to these days. A lot of people, when things like YouTube first came out, it was like, oh, it's a video platform, we'll just use it. And people jumped on it, people didn't. And then there was a little bit of a lull. But these days, especially after last year, when you literally couldn't do anything, so many more people, when, you know, YouTube's been around for 12, 13 years now, TikTok's come out. I think a lot more like artists and musicians switched on, and it was like, oh, we can actually utilize this and we can do it. You've obviously done that for a little bit, like for longer than just the last year. How did you find it different last year? I mean, did you find it more difficult last year when you've gone from having your schedule and then it gets over to a lot more people are in the little YouTube sphere and the TikTok sphere and all that? Did you find it more difficult to get yourselves to the front of that queue?
So I think you actually put it really well. Is we were lucky because we had been doing
We'd already done it. Yeah.
We were so like
a lot of people jumped on the train at the time and had never done it before, but we had been doing it.
We had a 3-year head start for recording at home and making home videos and like doing all this stuff by ourselves. So it was actually a lot easier because we had built up a little bit of a fan base. So we kind of had that edge over everybody just coming over. And we had the experience. And when COVID hit, we were just like, let's do 2 covers a week and let's just, you know what I mean, really get to the forefront of people's attention. And it worked out pretty well.
I mean, at that point, we were like, what else are we going to do if we're just sitting at home? We might as well just start putting out 2 videos a week instead of doing 1. So during COVID, we were releasing videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And we also started live streaming like right around then too. So now we live stream every Thursday before we have our video come out also.
Did you notice that people were, I mean, in that midst of that, I mean, I think you guys locked down a little differently to we did last year, but did you notice that people were more sort of receptive because they were spending more time?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Literally, it's like the hard lockdown date in the US, and then our analytics the day after just boom. And it just stayed there all through. And it's gonna sound really bad, but after lockdown is like dispersed, you can see our analytics and they go boom. Because it's literally like you can see in our numbers like people had nothing to do.
People are just watching.
People are just sitting inside, and like that's what they have to do. Like it's it was just like yeah, people were very receptive because like everyone just got so much more, I don't want to say free time, just like the ability to like, let's put music on in the background. I don't have to, it's just me here. Let's enjoy. Let me consume a lot more entertainment than someone usually would because we're all just at home. And yeah, it was people were super receptive to it.
We gained like half the amount of subscribers that we have now just in this past year, like throughout like COVID and stuff. So before that, we were at like 500,000 subscribers, and then by the end of that year was when we hit our 1 million mark. So like that honestly like helped boost our channel a lot when we had that time to do those extra videos, and all people were doing was just consuming that content. So it actually helped our channel.
And I'll give people a lot of credit. Everyone was super like acceptive of the little bit of dip in video quality, at least, because obviously
we were at our houses.
We all have to be at home.
Of course.
My parents actually live in Connecticut, which might not mean anything to you, but that's 8 hours away from us. So I actually drove 8 hours
away
to stay with my parents during the lockdown. And
so the videos looked a little different.
So the videos were a little bit different because obviously we're used to doing the whole bands together, but
I think that was the same for everyone though, unless you're an individual like Twitch or online streamer. I think everyone sort of took that little hit when it came to not necessarily quality, but making things look a little different. You touched on as well, I think you mentioned people were putting music on in the background and things while they were working. That's exactly how I found you guys. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was the cover of Aha, Take On Me.
Okay.
I just YouTube on in the background, and I was like, just looked up. I was like, okay, cool, we can get all this. And then
that's really cool.
Yeah, I think that was just after the home style videos. I think they went back to.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was like probably one of our first videos back, like in studio. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I just went when you said it, was like, yeah, that's cool. That's how I found you. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool. So since you've been back together, then has your strategy changed? Now you've hit these numbers where you said you've gone from 500,000 to 500,000. By the way, is a massive number anyway. But to go from that to 1 million, how have you found? Like, has your sort of social media strategy changed?
I think even in the most recent months, we've definitely, during COVID, we were like, get as much as we can. Boom, boom, boom. Numbers, get as much as we can. And we're definitely now shifting to like, how can we incorporate every single person of that 1 million number into, interacting with us and interacting with them and putting stuff out that they want to hear? Because like, I feel like everyone can get caught up in that kind of rat race, like, it needs to be a bigger number.
For sure.
But like you said, 1 million is a giant number. And I feel like we need to remind ourselves that. So I feel like more recently, we've definitely kind of shifted gears to, let's not just try to get. Let's be like, how can we, touch every single person of this 1 million, subscriber milestone?
We've been focusing a lot more on like personalized, like doing content for people, or like posting more personal stuff on our social media and interacting more with people in the comments and in our messages. And we just have all these new people who are like just finding out about us. So
and I mean, I think also like, there are YouTube channels that exist that have more subscribers than us with like not as many returning viewers. And YouTube doesn't just like send out checks because you hit a number. Like, obviously you're rewarded for getting people to interact with you. So I think now we're trying to keep the people that we have like close to our hearts a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we want them to get exclusive content, and we're venturing off a little bit. So we want to be a personal kind of idea.
Just touching on the sort of the returning customer, if you will, the people that do you find it harder now when you're looking to sort of schedule things, or do you find it easier when it comes to the creative side of things? Do you think we need to think maybe twice as much about what we're going to put out, or do you find it and you go, okay, we've got a bigger audience we can put out, we know we're going to hit at least this many people are going to be happy with what we put out?
It's both.
We think a lot about our scheduling now, especially when it comes to songs, because we've been doing YouTube for a while now. I mean, obviously not as long as some of the other like huge like music creators on YouTube, but you kind of get a feel for what your audience likes. And obviously our audience comments on our videos, and they're like, this is what we want to hear. We want to see you do this. And we can see that reflected in our numbers and in the interaction on videos. So it definitely makes you think more about like how to please the audience, but also maybe how to find a song that's going to please your audience and then also just keep going and get bigger and bigger. But yeah, it definitely is something to think about a lot more now, especially when we're scheduling out our covers.
Yeah, but one nice thing is that since the audience is so big, we have such a huge, diverse thing to pick from, because we never. One thing that I'm actually very proud of us is that we never like pigeonholed ourselves into like one sound. Like, it's crazy that you can look at our top videos and it's Guns N' Roses, then Lady Gaga, and then Katy Perry, and then Charlie Puth, and then Metallica, and then like Led Zeppelin. Like, that's such a mixed bag of things. So yeah, we think twice as hard.
You have a better chance of like hitting with a good cover because you know what your audience likes. And
you think twice as hard to be like, okay, what does the audience want to see? But you also have twice the variety of things, because we're not just like we only make metal covers. We only have this small little community. We only pick from anything. We could literally pick any song at this point, and someone's gonna like it. It's gonna pick up somewhere.
Well, funny enough, before you guys jumped on the call, I was chatting with Callum about your last 9 videos, and it's like you've got like there's like Olivia Rodrigo, there's Britney Spears, there's Guns N' Roses, there's Kansas, there's Blink-182, there's the Red Hot Chili Peppers, there's Paramore, and there's Miley Cyrus, and it was just like where else can you find that? So that would lead me into the next question, which is what's your process for picking that cover then? What's the conversation that's had? Like, who is it? Just a case of you all bring multiple to the table, or do you all sit down and really, really think about what you want to cover? Because back in the day, it was just, you would look at the charts, the Billboard Top 100, and you'd go, okay, Justin Bieber, Baby, that's top. I'm going to cover that. And then you'd go into the mix with thousands of other people. You've covered What's My Age Again this week. That was, I mean, I'm 34. That was out when I was young. That was like 20 years ago. So what's the process behind the selection?
So I'll give you a little insight into how yesterday sat down and picked out covers for like the rest of the year. So this November and December are always our best months. So we're Christmas, like, let's really sit down and pick out some powerhouse covers that we think people are gonna like. So the biggest thing, like I just said, comments. I mean,
we listen to what they say, because they're usually right.
If we see thousands of people saying we want to hear this song, well, then we're going to do the song. It's just that easy. It couldn't get easier than that. But you also look at things like, okay, what was like the cultural relevance of it? How popular was it then? How popular is it still now? If you're looking at
will it be in the next few months that we're going to have to like until we release the cover, like
And then you can also look at bands that you've covered before. So like you mentioned, we just put out another Guns N' Roses song. We were like, this song's gonna do well. Sweet Child of Mine is doing so well on our channel. When we put out November Rain, it's gonna do well,
and it did.
You know what I mean? So we can look at that, because I mean, there's so many bands out there that have so many great songs. Like, we've only done one like Aerosmith song, so we're like, okay, maybe we should do another one of those. We only done one Led Zeppelin song, so we're like, well, there's like a million amazing Led Zeppelin songs. We should do another one of those. So you can look at it like that, and then it's just trying to predict like, what are people gonna like, how people responded to covers like that in the past, because we have a big group to choose from. We have 150 or so covers out, probably more. Like, we got a huge sample size to choose from, so we can okay, this style of music, and this is how popular this song was. And I mean, sometimes it comes down to, do we like the song? Like Miley Cyrus, we all like that song, so we're
gonna do it.
let's cover that.
That works.
But it definitely is dependent on just kind of like the day. Like, if we're sitting down, we're like, we need to find a recent cover, because we haven't done one that's like new in a while. We'll go to the top charts and we'll see what people are listening to. And that's how we picked all of our covers at the beginning, because we were only doing one a month. We need to, hit the big ones that were becoming popular at the time. And then when we started putting out one a week, we were like, well, we can kind of have fun with this now and just kind of see what people like.
Yeah. But no, it is like, if anyone who's listening needs to go on your YouTube and just scroll through, because it is the most eclectic mix.
I've never thought about it until you read those 9.
It's just, if you look at it as tiles, it is. I'm going further than that. You've got Foo Fighters, Dua Lipa, Christina Aguilera, Kings of Leon, Tattoo. Like Tattoo. That I think I was 15 when that song came out, 14 or 15, and I'd forgotten about that song until I was scrolling through your socials before this. I was like, oh my god, that's a massive throwback. But I suppose talking about covers takes us quite nicely into, I'm going to challenge you guys this week. So this is the first. You're the first band we've had on the podcast, and we're going to have this as a run-in. So there's no pressure because no matter how you score, you're going to go to the top of the table. So there's no pressure. But what I've done is I've gone through that massive amount of covers that you guys have put out. What I did is I've taken it from, I think it was May, June last year. So these have all been covers since May or June last year.
Okay.
So easier. I've not gone like back to the days of like you said when you were throwing things up. So what we've got, there's 20 points on offer. Okay, so you get a point for the band and you get a point for the song. So I'm going to read out lyrics. I'm not going to sing them. I'm not going to because I can't sing. So I'm going to read a line.
Okay.
And I want the song and the artist. Are you guys ready? Well, you did let slip though that you have a certain guy sat on my right, your left, who is
honestly,
no, it's the lyrics though.
Yeah, the lyrics. I thought I originally thought it was going to be played, so I was
Sam's
like,
good at that.
if it's played,
we will give you a little. We've done something like this before, just on our stream, where we played a thing of our
like
just
the
a
first
snippet of a cover.
Second.
Let's just say Sam may or may not have perfect pitch and a very good memory. So he will literally just hear like
the first note.
It fade in like, huh? And Sam's like, oh yeah, it's that song.
It's the song.
And he'd be right every time.
The lyrics.
Okay.
Audra might marry us.
I was gonna say, given Audra your vocals, this could be your wheelhouse here. So
okay, I'll try my best.
The first one is, well, there's a million other girls who do it just like you.
Oh, that's
Misery
Business.
Yeah,
Misery Business. Paramore.
Misery
There we
Business.
go. So there you go. You see where we're going here now. There we go.
Yeah.
Second one. So needless to say, I'm odds and ends.
So needless to say, take on me.
There we go.
I have to sing it in my head.
Flying through these. So she rocked out to Wham, not a big Limp Bizkit fan.
1985.
Yeah. Bowling for Soup.
Or SR71, depending on who you want to say.
Number 4. Yeah, today I drove through the suburbs.
Driver's license, Olivia Rodrigo.
There we go. Didn't even have to think about that one. Okay, so this one, depending, it could be a little bit of a curveball, but the airwaves are clean and there's nobody singing to me now. Dead silence there.
Oh my god.
Gonna have to count you guys. Down.
Yeah, I
don't know that.
That is Bittersweet Symphony, the Verve.
Oh my god. That was tricky. That was a good one.
I did mix it up. I have mixed it up a little.
That was good.
Number 6. I'm doing this tonight. You're probably going to start a fight.
Bye NSYNC.
Yep.
There we go. Another maybe a little curveball. So this one, it's not necessarily, it's the name of the song and not necessarily the artist, but where it's heard. Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling.
A whole new world from Aladdin.
There we go. That was a big intake of breath there.
I love Disney.
No, it's much better to face these kinds of things.
It's much better to face these kinds of things.
Panic at the Disco, right?
Yeah, I write sentence, yeah.
Okay, go for it. Number 9, you've got to promise not to stop when I say when.
Oh, Everlong.
Everlong, yeah.
Okay, now I've been a bit sneaky with this last one. I've been a little bit sneaky. So
all right.
It's not necessarily, well, yeah, it's something you've uploaded since last May, June. So the lyric is, searching for the light inside of me, why are you trying to place the blame?
Are you trying to place the blame?
Wow.
Concrete castles. That was good.
That was great. I like
So-
I'm so impressed.
You got 18 out of 20.
Wow, we did pretty
Yeah.
good.
I
You
like
go. I do feel
I did
a
not
little
help
bit-
at all.
Bittersweet Symphony. That was such a good
And what
one.
was the other one that we?
No, that the
No,
artist,
there was
is
one.
the artist for
Yeah.
that.
Got it.
9 out of 10. So that's 18 out of 20 altogether.
Yeah.
Which is
Wow,
that's a solid
fun.
score. So you go straight to the top of the leaderboard
Woo!
because
Let's go.
not to take it away from you, but there's no one else on it. But
Hey, we'll take it.
but that's a solid number to start the season off with. And then, like
Now
I said,
everybody has to beat it.
yeah. And then as we get further down the podcast schedule, we might have a few face-offs. So we'll get you guys back on. You can face off against. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And then next up, the way that we like to wrap things up is, you've heard of the age-old, if you could invite anyone to dinner, who would it be and why? We don't care who you want to have for dinner. We want to know. We want to know if you guys were hosting an event. So for you guys, it would be a gig. Where would it be? Who'd be headlining? What other awesome, unique things would you have at your event? You basically got to sell your event to me. Influence Event Productions is an event company. We put events on, so you're selling it to us. We want to know, and if it's good, we'll talk after the podcast. Okay, we'll talk after the podcast.
Oh
So
God,
yeah, let's go one at a time. Let's start with Matt.
Oh, thank God.
Oh my God. Starting with me. So I always have loved super intimate like basement shows. I don't like stadiums. I hate stadiums actually. I don't like, I like it when everyone's standing scrunched together. So I don't really have an actual place in mind. Just like basically 150 capacity, like stage,
something small,
people standing. That is it, all that is in the room. Like it's just gonna be amps,
I get that.
like the bare minimum sound equipment, like everything's just gonna be super raw. And I'm literally just picking like some of my favorite bands. Headliner is gonna be Say Anything, and they're only gonna play their first 3 albums because their first 3 albums are incredible. Any songs off of them, they can play it. And I don't know. I don't know who would open or anything.
I don't have any.
I'd want to throw like a good like mix of music. Hum would have to be in there and just fill up the entire room with sound. Say Anything and Hum can co-headline, and then you can throw in whatever.
I like that. I think you do well. 150 tickets. I don't think you struggle selling those. I think
and because like I said, I think that those are also the most fun shows to be at, because you can really get to not only feel the music, but you can really connect with every single person in the audience. Not only if you're playing, you know what I mean? Maybe Concrete Castles will be on that show. Maybe First 11 will be on that show. But even as an audience member, you really are like, wow, you look around, you're like, all these people probably love these bands as much as I do.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. I like the intimate show. Okay, Sam, where are we? You've taken me to a gig. What are we doing?
Yeah, all right. So if somebody on your podcast said that they want to have a show in hell, I want to have a show on the moon. I think that would be cool. Good. Yeah, I think having a show on the moon would be cool. I would probably have an emo night show. So I'd have like Fall Out Boy, and they're allowed to play like From Under the Cork Tree full through. Taking Back Sunday.
I love how we have like you're only allowed to play this.
Yeah, if I'm booking the band, I'm picking those sets, and that's all there is to it. Probably Taking Back Sunday would play Louder Now full through, and I feel like even though that's maybe already a long show, maybe I'd invite. I thought about inviting Say Anything too, but they're only allowed to play acoustic. That's what I would do. Just to split up the loudness. It'd be like Crazy Electric Band, a little downtime, like a half hour, a little acoustic set, and then a crazy loud emo band again. And
can we just point out the fact that you're worried about how long the gig's going to be, but you're on the moon? I love that. People are going to get home. Like the
moon doesn't
spaceships. You're like, they've been playing for a while. Like it's fine. I like that. I think people will be there for a long time. I think you'd be sound. I think you'd be good. You'd be good for however long you want.
Jonah Montranger Band would be amazing acoustic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I like that. So we've gone from the basement to the moon. Audra, where are we?
I honestly had the same idea as you, but my first thought was just like, I want somebody to just be like in my backyard. Like, I just want like it to be just like, middle of nowhere, just like you show up to this place outside, but very specific. I want it to be Steven Tyler, only because I want to hear him sing live one time in my life. And I only want it to be acoustic. I just want to hear him like sing. I just want it to be like this really like chill. You just show up, you're outside. He's just, playing acoustic guitar, singing his songs, and that's it. You're just hanging out.
It's nice. That's simple. Like that. And you're not restricting him to play in only one album or.
No. He can play whatever he wants. It doesn't matter.
Sure. I can't afford those bands any longer.
I like that. That's three very different shows. I like that.
Yeah. What would yours be?
What would your show be?
What would mine be?
Yeah.
So you've put me on. You've thrown a spotlight on me. I wasn't expecting that. You've kind of flipped that. I'm not sure. I think so. Growing up, my dad always showed me footage from Live Aid back in when it was with like that whole Queen at Live Aid, that set. Mm-hmm. I think something like that, where just Freddie Mercury, because he had, I think it was 100,000 people in Wembley that day. Every single person he had in his hand. Not many people on the planet can do that. So to be able to, watching that back on video or listening to it, you get the goosebumps. You get that kind of. So seeing something like that would be amazing, and also knowing that it was all for charity. It was all good stuff. So yeah, it was, I think something along those lines. I'd have to have more of a think. Yeah.
That's a good
Was-
pick,
Yeah,
though.
that's
was
That's
not
good.
ex-
yeah.
Was not expecting the guest to come out with a question then. Stumped me. I'll have to think about that. I'll tweet it at you, or I'll jump on one of your lives and be
Yeah,
like, hey
send it back
guys.
to us. We want to
Yeah, I'll get
know.
that to you. So to wrap things up, you've been awesome today. It's been really good chatting. I know that you guys have had a long morning, so appreciate you jumping on. If people want to keep up to date with you, where can they find you?
Okay. So you can follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at First to 11, everything spelled out. And you can also stream our covers on all streaming platforms. So go follow us on Spotify, stream our covers. And you can go to our website, first to11.com, for physical copies of all of our cover CDs and merch.
There you go, guys. You heard it straight from the band's mouths. I was going to say horse's mouth, but that's not very nice because they're very British saying. So we'll leave that. I don't know which sayings translate into the US or not, so I didn't want to offend anyone. But no, appreciate it, you guys. Yeah, it's been really great chatting to you. So
Yeah, thank you so
very
much for
much
having us.
appreciate
This
it.
was super fun.